supposed to be really strong, but think about this in your mind for a moment. If you put some really heavy tools on there, then the whole thing may come off the wall. But hey, no risk, no reward.
All right, it's time to get organizing on the tools, which is a super exciting part of the process because it means that we're pretty much done decluttering. And so yesterday we went out to Lowe's right after we went out for some Mexican food, which was really good. Yeah, a new Mexican restaurant in our town. So that was super exciting for us to have an actual Mexican restaurant in our town. And then we went to Lowe's because every good date always includes a trip to Lowe's, right?
No.
No. But anyway, it was good because what I had in my head for how we would be organizing his tools and what he had was totally different. So it was a good thing he was with me or he probably wouldn't love how his tools were about to get organized. So I'm going to show you what we purchased at Lowe's and then we're going to get started with some wall organization. Tool organization on the wall.
Right.
Yeah.
Here we are at Lowe's, and this is with all of the other carpentry storage items, all of the big toolboxes and such. So I was so glad to have Robin with me because I would totally have chosen the wrong size
This
drawers.
has been portable too, right?
Okay.
Here's another, like, if we did the
These, oh, you put these dividers in, you put the dividers in there, right? You're putting the dividers in there.
yeah.
And it's 912, 98.
So these.
That one's 1698.
We got this 9-drawer little system here, and that was $16.98. This one we liked because we are going to be able to mount it. Then this other one that you put your own dividers in and is smaller is $12.98. This is 3M mounting tape, and I thought that was pretty expensive because it's $18.98. We got these 6-inch peg hooks, which were $1.28 a piece. We got 3 of them. We got 3 packages of the 3-inch, and they were $3.48. We got this to hang on the wall for, hanging all the tools and such, and that was $12.68 for that one sheet.
So what we want to do is take this. It's a piece of beadboard to organize, and we want to put it over here. So I need to move all of these things out of the way and so I can get to this area to hang this up on the wall. Ideally, if you want to make it look, it has to come here, right?
Right.
Unless you don't care.
Well, it's up to you. It's your work area. I just think you just have to be careful. Well, we can always be moving this because I'm going to be decluttering another shelf and all this can need to be moved down,
All right, now that we moved the stuff out of the way, just trying to make sure I place it the right place. But what you realize right away is if you're going to put things in here to hang it, you've got to have a space for that to come through to the back. So this side, the back side, can't sit right on the wall. There has to be a gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of wood, which is pretty thin. It's only about 1 inch thick at the most, and put one on each side of the board, maybe one in the middle if I have enough, to just provide that space so that the pegs can go in. That's all.
So this was one of the times when it was good that he didn't listen to his wife and get rid of absolutely everything because he was able to go outside and find a piece of wood and we didn't have to buy one, right?
Right, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the pieces of board to fit on the edges. And then the other thing we bought, because we're not going to screw into the cement. We could do that if we wanted to, but instead we bought some industrial Velcro strips. We're going to give it a shot, see if it works, that we put the Velcro on the wall here, and then see if we can just Velcro it right to it. So these are supposed to be really strong, but think about this in your mind for a moment. If you put some really heavy tools on there, then the whole thing may come off the wall. But hey, no risk, no reward. So because we organized, I have my measuring tape. So you want to measure the sides. It should be 2 feet because that's what they told me it was going to be. So, yep, it's a little bit shy of 2 feet. I'm going to then take this piece of wood and cut it, like I said. I don't really want this knot. Knots tend to be brittle, so I'm going to work from the other end first.
I bet not too many people use a old saw on a table saw.
Yeah, they probably turn the table saw on and just use the table saw, which you could. I'm going to screw the pieces that I have, these, onto the edges. Then I'll put the Velcro on and apply it to the wall. Now because my tools are organized, I can reach up here and go, all right, I need my drill, right? That's what we put there. So I'm going to use that. And then we had organized some of the screws and bits that we have, right? To put things on there. So we have this generalized bin. We got some other screws here. I want to find, obviously, screws that I'm going to use that are the same size so that it looks nice, but I also don't necessarily want to go through the board that I have. I don't want something that's too long. So I put it up against it. That's going to be pretty good on the sides. So I think I'll use these. I just don't want to sink them in. So I'm going to use 4 on each side, and that should be plenty. This, remember to put your tools back. That way you can find them next time. Back up where it goes. Now I have my board. It'll sit up against the wall right here. Now I'm looking at this and I may need to put that space in. Like I said, you see how it's a little flimsy, right? Like that. So let's look at putting in the space in the middle. that whole stick, this is how much I have left. That's funny. Now we have that extra space, like we said. Be able to put it over here. Alright, that's where we want it to go. Can you just hold the pieces together and then step back so I can get a measurement? Yeah, so these are 4 feet. So if I cut it in half, I end up with enough
For that.
for each side.
Yeah, and then you can do
Both
one in the middle.
No, I can't. I wouldn't have
Oh,
enough.
right, because
so,
you can't. Yeah, yeah. I get
right,
it.
so I can cut less than 4 feet. Right, so like if I leave off, let's say I do 6 inches, right?
Yeah.
Then I could put 6 inches in the middle, one from each. Right?
I feel like that's risky that it would hold.
Why is that?
Well, it's already risky that the Velcro would be strong enough to hold it, but I feel like if you don't have a lot of it, it's less likely to hold that thing up with weight on it.
And basically you're going to cut a piece about this long.
Yeah.
And then you're going to cut another
Okay.
piece about
I mean,
this
we could
long.
all, if it doesn't work, we can always buy more. I was just seeing if Ace was open today.
So I'm going to take off about 6 inches on either end so I can use it for the middle. Then I'm going to cut the pieces that I have in half. Okay, so that should provide enough on each end to hold it, and then a little bit of stabilization in the middle.
Man, to get 2 boxes of this, that would have been $40.
It's a lot of stuff.
That's
right.
a lot.
Right. It's something where
It's
if
like
you're
the
going to go
pegboard is
this
the
route,
cheaper part. If it doesn't work, we're going to be sad.
Yeah.
That's expensive. But, I mean, we only paid $18.98, but if we'd had to get 2.
get that cut. So this will be in the middle, and then I'll use the other ones on the end. With the other ones, what I'm going to do is just fold it in half, because I need half of each, because this sticks into itself. So basically you have one part on the board and one part on the wall.
Oops.
You can try, I use a hacksaw to take that off. The other thing I can do is I could use a set of wire clippers, see if it comes off with that. And that worked pretty well. It took a little bit off, but it's still sticking out a bit there. So that's not foolproof either, just clipping off the end of it, right? That works pretty good. So I'll go with that for the moment. So even though I put it in with the drill, right, I can come back a little bit just to make it nice on there. And it won't make a big difference on the pegboard itself. It's still holding the pegboard, so. Now that one, see, this one wasn't clipped as well, so I probably want to clip that one. So, a little loose there. We'll see when we get it on the wall how it goes. The other option that some people do is you can try to take a hammer and bend the piece piece over. The danger there is that you actually break the screw, right? So that can happen. Like those two worked all right, so maybe it'll work for this one. I might as well do this other end back in, do the same.
Whoops, I didn't move the camera.
That way they're all even. They're all done the same way. Then we'll put the Velcro on.
How are you? Oh, is it like peel and stick, the Velcro
Yeah.
strips? You're not going to glue them or anything?
No, they're peel and stick. There's no glue involved in these. So now I've got all the sticky sides in. Now I can mount this on the wall. Okay? So you want to press really hard when you get it up here to get it to set. Okay, now, like I said, the other thing you can do then is you can brace a board against it, right, to kind of help you get some leverage. Because you really want to seal this by pushing out all the air, anything that's in between the tape itself, right? So you need kind of a little bit of even pressure to do that. This type of a fulcrum will do that for you, leverage on it, I guess. Yep.
Remove one liner and press an object firmly for 30 seconds. Retire. Oh, that's not in English. Remove other liner, press firmly for 30 seconds. Yep, 30 seconds.
So now we've got the board up. Now becomes the hard part, is figuring out how to organize it to put some of your tools on.
Yeah, and like, if you're buying another one, which we thought about buying two, but then we thought, no, let's just buy one, see how much fits on one, and then decide if we need another one. See if this one works. Like, we just want to spend random money and then find out that either it doesn't stay up or, you know, it was plenty and we didn't need more.
I have all of these wonderful tools, right? So if I put this close enough together, right? And I go like that, there's my hammer.
Here we are finding some screws so we can hang that little organizer. And yes, we are definitely planning to organize the nails and the screws. So our first idea, or Robin's first idea, was to take the screws and wrap them in tape to put them in the existing holes that were in the pegboard. But in the end, it just didn't seem that sturdy. So what he decided to do was to screw, or to, what would you call that? Drill new holes into the board, and that way the screws were in there nice and tight, and that ended up working a lot better.
Somehow I measured it wrong. It actually does go in the other hole.
Well, at least you have a hole.
Actually, what I can do is move the other one over so that it's actually into the pegboard. That's just weird. There we go. Just like that.
Ta-da!
You can start putting some of those screws and things in there.
So these you'll probably want to put up higher.
Yeah. I will need to remember it is Velcro, so I gotta go careful on how much weight I go putting on here. But you know, it's holding up pretty good at the moment. Seems to be holding. These aren't light. Those are pretty heavy.
So, when do we divide up the screws and the nails?
So next time we
Okay.
film, I guess. Yeah, we'll do that, and then we can also pick where we want some of these tools to go.
All right, how does that feel?
Good, good. So years ago, Karen's father, he had a shed and he had a board like this with everything organized. And I was always impressed, even jealous, just because it was like you always knew where to put something back. So I'm excited that I will have something similar where I can just go, okay, this belongs here. And that's a big part of what my wife tries to show and do is like decluttering isn't just throwing stuff out. It's figuring out what you need and remembering where you put it all the time. You put it somewhere and you keep it there.
Yeah.
So,
Look
all
at
right.
that. All right. Remember, as always, that God loves you and we love you too. Can't wait to see you next time.